Hey, Sobriety Warriors, Lisa here again with another video. And here we don't just stay sober, we take our lives back. Whether you're day 1 or day 1000, you're in the right place. I just wanted to say thanks for everybody following me on my Sobriety Warriors page. We are at 300 followers now, which is awesome. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is all about recovery, healing, and rebuilding a life you don't have to escape from. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons and the notification bell, and hit all so you don't miss out. Today, everyone, we're going to be talking about step 2. I did a video on step 1 already, so if you haven't watched step 1, stop right now and go watch step 1. I'll try to put a link or something somewhere. But we're going to be talking about step 2 of the 12 steps. This is a 12-part series that I'm doing here on the channel for you guys, and I know I'm not the best at doing these videos, but let's get it. Step 2 says, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. This is one of the most misunderstood steps in recovery. A lot of people hear the words power greater than ourselves and immediately think this program is religious. Some people get uncomfortable. Some people get angry. Others just stop listening altogether when religion is involved. But before you stop watching this video, I want you to hear me out, because step 2 isn't about forcing anyone to believe in a specific religion or a specific God. It's about hope. It's about becoming willing to believe that maybe, just maybe, there's a solution to the problem that has been destroying our lives. So let's dive into it. Before we can fully understand step 2, we need to remember what step 1 taught us. So if you haven't watched my deep dive into step 1, I will put the link in the comments or in the description. Go watch that first, because the steps are in order for a reason. In step 1, we admitted defeat. We admitted that our best thinking got us into trouble. We also admitted that despite our promises, good intentions, and countless attempts to control our addiction, we couldn't do it on our own, which is not easy to do, but nobody likes admitting that we're powerless. But once we accept step 1, we are left with the question, if I can't fix myself, then what can? That's where step 2 begins. So what does restore us to sanity really mean? When I first heard the word sanity, I thought it meant I was insane, which I am crazy, so that made sense to me. But that's not really what the big book is talking about. The big book is talking about, like, in terms of, we have to be insane to be doing the same thing over and over again and expecting nothing bad to happen from it. So think about addiction. How many times did you swear you'd never use again or take another drink again? How many times did we promise our family, even our children, we'd stop? How many times did we suffer and have terrible consequences only to go back to and do the exact same thing again? That's insanity. Not because we are bad people, but addiction is a disease. Not because we're weak, but because addiction convinces us that this time will somehow be different. The big book describes insanity as repeating the same destructive behavior while expecting different results. Step 2 asks us to believe that something can restore us to a healthier way of thinking and living. Next thing is, why does hope matter in all this? Well, many addicts and alcoholics arrive in recovery completely hopeless. Maybe you've lost relationships, jobs, custody of your children, your self respect. Maybe you've hurt the people you love most. You might feel broken beyond repair. I know many people in recovery have felt that way. The good news is that step 2 says you don't have to stay there. Hope is powerful. Before action comes hope. Before change comes hope. And before recovery comes hope. Step 2 is the first step that begins rebuilding hope. Now let's tackle the power greater than ourselves part. So, the phrase that makes some people nervous, a power greater than ourselves, notices what it doesn't say. It doesn't say a specific religion, a specific church, a specific belief system. It simply says a power greater than ourselves. Now, why does it say that? Because our power wasn't enough to stop. If our own power had been enough, we wouldn't have needed to be in recovery. We wouldn't have needed to be going to meetings. We wouldn't have needed sponsors. We wouldn't have needed treatment. We would have been able to stop long ago when we started noticing that was a problem. The fact we're here proves that our own power alone wasn't enough to solve the problem. What can a higher power look like? For some people, their higher power is God. For me, my higher power is God. For others, it may start with something much simpler. It might be the recovery group, your recovery fellowship, your collective wisdom of people staying sober, the recovery process itself, or it could be like our community on Facebook, my Sobriety Warriors page. It could be that kind of community. Just think about what you want your higher power to be if you're not religious. If 100 recovering addicts can stay sober together, that group clearly has more power than one struggling addict alone. So if you can get into a group or a community to where you have support, you're more likely to recover than just trying to do it on your own. That's why some people say God stands for group of drunks. The point isn't what you call it. The point is becoming willing to believe that help exists outside of yourself. The difference between belief and certainty. The one thing that I love about step 2 is that it doesn't demand you have certainty. It says came to believe, not completely understood. Not I have all the answers. Not I never have any doubts, or it just says came to believe. That's a process. I know you're not immediately going to be perfect. I'm not perfect, even though I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I'm not perfect by any means. Like I've said many times before, I don't have like any certifications or any degrees or anything like that. And I could relapse tomorrow. Who knows? You're never in the safe zone. You know what I mean? Like once you're in addiction, you have to fight addiction every day. Many of us start recovery with doubts, and that's okay. Many of us start recovery with questions, and that's okay too. If you don't have everything figured out, it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just that you're trying. The fact that you're willing to try something different than what you did before is amazing, and I'm glad you're watching this. If you are in addiction, I hope you do many, many good things. I hope you stay clean. I hope you don't have any troubles. But for most of us, we do relapse. We do have, little moments where we slip up. So that's perfectly fine. The fact that you realize that you slipped up and you go back to trying to do the 12 steps is where that's when you need help. You need help from somebody else. So if you don't have a sponsor, I recommend that you get a sponsor, and it doesn't have to be like somebody you don't like or somebody, you have to go around and see which one's best for you. I know there's not that many sponsors out there, especially around here, but just go and shop around, kind of like buying a car. If you don't like them and you don't get along with them, they don't have to be your sponsor. You can tell them that you want somebody else to be your sponsor. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about hurting somebody's feelings because you don't want to be their sponsee or whatever. Um, because I know I sure didn't have everything figured out when I was going into rehab. I still had the mentality of, well, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to help me at all. As soon as I get out of here, I'm probably going to be back on drugs, which thank God I'm 2 years and almost 5 months sober. So yay me. Pat myself on the back. Um, you only need enough willingness to keep moving forward, charging in like the warriors you are, and I know you are, and I know you can do it. Um, the big book talks about 3 essential spiritual principles, which is honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Step 2 heavily relies on open-mindedness. Um, Open-mindedness means admitting that maybe we don't have everything together. Um, for years, many of us thought we had all the answers, yet our lives kept getting worse. Recovery asks us to consider the possibility that there may be another way, a better way, a healthier way, a way that actually works. Why does our self will often fail? Many of us spent years trying to control everything. We spent years trying to control our addiction. We tried controlling people. We tried to control the outcomes of our addiction. We tried controlling life itself, and that didn't work too well for us. So I don't know about you, but mine ended me up in jail and then in rehab. I'm still on probation. If I screw up, I got 11 years to serve. So I don't want to do that, but I don't want to be an addict no more neither. So being in recovery is awesome for me. Um, Step 2 begins teaching us that we don't have to carry the entire world on our shoulders. We can accept help. We can learn from others. We can trust the process. I don't know if you believe, that's okay. Just look around you at the other people in recovery. Listen to people's stories. You'll hear people who lost everything, who went to prison, who lost their families, who lost their homes, lost their careers, and even lost themselves. I know me in general, I pretty much lost myself. I didn't know, and as soon as I started getting closer to that year mark, I started getting myself back a little bit more at a time. And all these people in your meetings and groups and just whatever recovery community you're a part of, they somehow recovered. Some of them may be 1 day sober, some of them may be 10 years sober. Um, Either way, they're on the recovery path. They're living proof that recovery works, and I'm proof that recovery works. Even all of you in recovery are proof. I'm proud of you. No matter if you have 24 hours or 24 years, it's an accomplishment. Um, so don't look down on yourself if you've only got a week or if you've only got 24 hours. It's, you know, you're a work in progress. Trust the process. Sometimes we borrow belief from others until we develop our own. Meetings are often where step two begins to come alive. When you hear someone tell their story, something changes inside of you. You realize you're not alone. You realize recovery is possible. The realization of that creates hope, and hope is the foundation of step two. So now let's clear up a few myths. Myth one, you have to be religious. False. That's false. Many people begin recovery with no religious beliefs whatsoever. Step two is about willingness, not religious perfection. Myth two, you must have perfect faith. False. Most of us start with doubts, and I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be a waste of time, honestly. But my higher power has showed up and showed out more times than I can count. And I am very, very grateful for what my higher power has done for me. Just the belief and faith that something bigger, that we're a part of something bigger, um, has helped me. Recovery isn't about perfection, it's about progress. That's why in recovery we say progress, not perfection. Um, Myth three, you need all the answers. False. Nobody has all the answers. Step two simply asks you to remain open to the possibility that recovery is possible. Step two isn't something we read, it's something we practice. It looks like going to meetings when you don't feel like it, calling your sponsor, asking for help, listening instead of arguing, taking suggestions, staying teachable. These actions demonstrate belief, not perfect belief, just enough belief to keep moving forward. Um, my message to all the newcomers in recovery is, if you're new to recovery, I want to speak directly to you. So everyone else, butt out, go somewhere. You don't have to leave; just leave the video playing. I'm just kidding. You don't need to have everything figured out today. You don't need to know exactly what your higher power is. You don't need to be. You don't need to have perfect faith. Um, you don't need to have all the answers. What you need is willingness. If you're to stay sober today, if you're willing to keep showing up and showing out, if you're willing to listen, then you're already practicing step two. One of the biggest things in recovery is seeing people transform. People who once felt like they were hopeless find a purpose. People who once hated themselves learn self worth and self respect. People who once destroyed everything around them become sources of hope for others. That's the power of recovery. And that's what I'm trying to do for you guys, is to tell my story and to help you guys through the steps, so you can have a little piece of what someone once gave to me. Um, that's what step two points us towards. Um, becoming believing recovery is possible, trust that help exists beyond our own thinking, and become willing to grow, and become whatever we want to be, like whatever. But the most rewarding part about doing this is I get to learn from you guys, and I get to talk to you guys and see what your opinions are. And just because you have opinions different than somebody else doesn't mean that, their recommendations or their things are any less helpful. You know what I mean? So, um, I once thought recovery was impossible, and I'm now the person trying to help you guys get sober and stay sober and give you inspiration. Um, don't quit before the miracle happens, is what we always used to say when I was in a rehab. So I just want to say, I want to thank you guys for the 300 followers on Sobriety Warriors Facebook page. I would like to get my YouTube channel up to 300 subscribers. That'd be nice. But whatever, I don't care. I'm not in this for money or anything like that. I just want to help as many people as I can. Also, I wanted to say, if you wanted to go like the Sobriety Warriors page and follow it, that would be nice. But you don't have to. That's fine with me. I don't really care either way. But it'd be nice to get a big community of people, together with the same goal. But I love you guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what step 2 meant to you when you was new to recovery. And if you are new to recovery, you can comment like what step 2 means to you now. Keep coming back, keep doing the work, and remember, one day at a time. See you guys in the next video where we cover step 3. I love you guys, and bye.